Alrighty, y'all. So I am here with a Real Housewives. I'm sorry, looking at my time. Real Housewives of New Jersey. I think it's episode 6. Okay, so even though I haven't been on here every time reviewing it, I have been keeping up. Like I said, I'm gonna try to keep up this week. Period. I'm gonna try to keep up. Consistency is hard for me, y'all, because I be having so many other things going on, and just yeah. So anyway, let's get to it. So, as we know, last episode, Jen got she got so fucked up it wasn't even fun. She got fucked up. This one I've never in my life seen somebody face plant into the floor like that. That was hilarious to me. But anyway, it's the next morning and she's talking about how she threw up in her husband's Ferrari and then she threw up all over the damn foyer. And tell me why the first thing that I thought about is when she was like, I don't really know like my limit or whatever. I was like, the limit doesn't exist. The limit doesn't exist. I don't know. Shout out. If you know, you know, okay? So then we get to Dolores, and Dolores is talking to Frank, and we'll get to it in a second, but Frank is talking about, oh yeah, you know, back then I would have had you bent over or whatever, this counter, and da-da-da-da-da, and our son probably got somebody bent over this counter. Again, I don't understand, like everybody else keeps saying, I don't understand you and David's relationship. I don't understand how David is okay with shit like that being said. It's inappropriate. Sorry, it's inappropriate. It's inappropriate. Okay. So then, Dolores' daughter that had moved to the Caribbean to be a vet. I'm not gonna lie. When her daughter came in with all 4 of them dogs, I figured that she was just like peasant. I was like, there ain't no way in hell she got all of these 4 dogs for herself, cause she could barely like. They was going crazy. But those was all her damn dogs. When she moved to the Caribbean, she got some dogs, and then when COVID happened, she had to come back. And I think they said she's going to school in Boston or whatever. And so she's coming back because Dolores is getting an award for, what is it, the Ambassador of Hope Award, which has to do with her work with the breast cancer. So that's good for you, Dolores. Good for you. I've had my great aunt currently has breast cancer. I had a cousin that passed away. Just fuck cancer, y'all. Fuck cancer for sure. So then we get Teresa. Teresa ends up calling Joe Goodice, okay? And you know, she says that, you know, he has a little sex line like I talked about before, and how she be helping him, and she be like, oh no, you can send me those toys and stuff. I'm like, you and Joe seem to get along a whole lot better. I mean, it's not that I don't want them to get along. I mean, y'all have kids, so y'all need to and y'all should, but I don't know. She seemed a little too cozy with Joe in my motherfucking opinion, but whatever. So she talked about pretty much how she told Joe how she was selling the house. He was like, I don't care what you, I don't care. I mean, you can't care. You all the way in Italy. What you gonna do? Like, and so, she pretty much said that in the divorce, she got the house, like, and Joe pretty much got nothing because she paid off his debt, which is like, you better, don't ask me shit. I know that's right. I would have walked into that divorce like, boom, payment of, you know, paid in full debt. Don't ask me for shit. I'm keeping the house is mine, the kids is mine, the car is mine, the ring is mine. Adios. Yeah, I understand. So then she said that they were all going to the Jersey Shore for like kind of like a life of party for like her dad, because y'all know her father passed away last year, and they wasn't able to really do a big thing because he passed away during like when COVID was at like its peak. So then we go to David's house, okay? And we're having the whole brunch or whatever for Dolores. They can't have it inside, of course, like in a big place because of COVID. So she's just going to have her friends and stuff come over. Her family was already there when she got the award. So she's just having her friends over for a nice little brunch. So David comes in looking like he was run through this world. Known as y'all know Sons of Anarchy. Yeah, that's what he was giving me. But he said that he couldn't stay because he has to go back to the hospital. So yeah, the amount of flowers were overkill, Dolores. Nice, but overkill. It was way too many fucking flowers. Way too many flowers. Way too many. It was nice, but it was way too many in my opinion. So then when Jen comes over, Jen is all of us because, girl, we don't understand the relationship either. She was like, so this is your boyfriend's house that you not living in. But you're living over there in your own house with your ex-husband. And then on top of that, David's not even here. But your ex-husband was here when you got your award. It don't make sense. Like I said, Jen, make it make sense. None making sense to me as far as I'm concerned. So Jackie ends up coming because Teresa is not, and so that's that. Margaret ends up saying, so when they're all sitting down, they're talking to Ax and Jen like how she's feeling, and she says she's doing okay, but she didn't want any alcohol. I've been nervous because after you drink, like this past weekend, me and my boyfriend, we went to the casino or whatever, and we both had like some Long Islands or whatever, and my Long Island was like super super strong. Do y'all know how much I was on the fucking floor of the car because I didn't eat anything? So that thing had tore me up. We had to stop at the hospital and everything for me to run into the bathroom and throw up because been there, done that. So I understand because that was like this last weekend. I don't want to touch alcohol for another year and a half. I don't drink like that. Like, this is why I don't drink, because of shit like that. Sure don't. So I understand. But Margaret pretty much ends up saying that Jen being drunk like that triggered her because of like the way her mom dealt with alcoholism, and she was like, she has kids and I don't want them to have to deal with that. And I'm like, all right, Margaret, let's pump your brakes right there. Yes, she got drunk as hell, but you want to know what? She got drunk as hell around her husband, okay? Somebody that was going to take her home and make sure that she was okay. I don't really know Jen, I don't know because I don't pay attention to Jen outside of the show. I don't really know Jen to be like a sloppy drunk at all times. Like, no shade when I say this, but like Sonia from the Real Housewives of New York, that if she was acting like that, then I would understand you being concerned. But I really don't even see Jen being a sloppy drunk. So just bring it down a couple notches, Margaret, okay? So then we have Melissa. Melissa starts asking all of these questions. Melissa is like asking Dolores, like, pretty much, why haven't you moved in? And now Dolores is like, oh, well, I like my space. Like, after taking care of all of these kids by myself for this long, I like my space. I like being alone. That doesn't make sense. We'll get there for a second. And Melissa ends up saying in her confession, and I agree with her when she was like, I think that this is just a coping mechanism, because she even said to her, she was like, don't say that, because if you had a ring already, like if you had your ring, you would be here, because that's what she said. And the reason why it's bullshit, Dolores, about you wanting to be by yourself, because your ex-husband is staying with you. How is it that you want your own space, or you like your own space, but you're still living in a house with your ex-husband? It would make sense to me if you were living by yourself, and if you didn't have anybody else in the house, or if you was almost always home by yourself. Every time we see you, Frank is around. So what do you mean you like your space? I agree with Melissa. I think you absolutely was expecting a ring, and you even said in the beginning of the season that you didn't get one, so you didn't feel comfortable moving in. And I agree. I think that you're just like living with this stuff because it's just how it's going. But I do think that it's weird as hell. Then Melissa asked if she could be shown the house or whatever. So Melissa was like, can I ask you a personal question? She said, yeah. She was like, how many times do you and David have sex a week? Now, I understand. I wouldn't tell nobody that because that's my business. But at the same time, I mean, she did ask you if she could ask you a personal question. You could have been like, nah, girl, or later, or not right now, whatever the case may be. So when she takes them on a tour, because that's what happened, because they went into the bedroom and she was like, oh yeah, this is David's bedroom. And Melissa was like, oh, this is David's bedroom. Okay, how much do you sleep over here? Sometimes. And it's just like, then we go to the closet, and he has his own closet and she has her own closet, and they're like, oh, you do have a whole bunch of stuff here. Okay, so you are on home. She's like, no, this is just my red carpet stuff. My day-to-day clothes are at the house. And I'm sorry, this is just how I feel about it at the end of the day. If I'm really your friend, like if I'm your friend the way you say I am, I should be able to express my feelings about certain things that I see. And especially if I feel like it's like low-key harmful to you. And I don't mean like in a physical way. I just mean if I was friends with Dolores, I would really sit down with her and be like, bitch, I need you to sit. It's just me and you. It's just me and you, sis. What is going on? And if she was like, what do you mean what's going on? I would be like, okay, let me be a little bit more clear. Where specifically do you want your relationship with David to go? What do you see for you and David in the next 2 to 4 years? When do you feel like you'll be comfortable enough to move out of your house and move in with David? Why is it that it's okay for your husband, your ex-husband, to make inappropriate jokes? And granted, yes, I do see that David and Joe, they have a really good relationship or whatever the case may be. But you can't tell me, I'm sorry, you cannot tell me that as a man, he sits there and he sees his girlfriend with her ex-husband, which is one thing. But for them to be as flirtatious as they are, that will bother me, because my thing is, fuck being a man, that would bother me as a person, period. It don't even if it wasn't your ex-husband, that will bother me. I'm sorry, some of the stuff that David and Dolores does together, or some of the stuff that David says to Dolores, or Dolores says to him, or they do, it's inappropriate to me. And I feel like that's, if any reason why David hasn't proposed, it's because of that. Because I don't feel like there's a clear line or a clear boundary line in Dolores' relationship with her ex-husband. It keeps being crossed over and over and over again. From y'all kissing last time. Why is it every single time that y'all go on a trip, he's the one that's coming? Why are y'all living together still? Why is he talking about bending you over? Do you not think that would make somebody uncomfortable? I'm tired of saying the same thing about Dolores. I'm so fucking tired. How much time we got? Yeah, so let's just keep fucking going. So then we find out that Jackie is coming to the shore, because at first she said she wasn't going, but she's going to stay with Melissa, and I think Teresa is going to stay with Margaret or whatever. So they end up getting to the shore, Teresa's house. She found out that her house is being sold. And then everybody talks about how they know that all hell's going to break loose when Teresa and Jackie get together. And mostly because of Teresa, because we all know how Teresa is. Teresa is a stunt queen. She's a baby. She's a child. She's an infant. She's immature. She's all of that. We can keep going. So then we see Jen Peoples went to Turkey to go see her brother and nephew, and her mom didn't go because her dad went. Fucking tea. I'm here for it, okay? So then everybody's outside, and Teresa comes around and she gives everybody a dildo. Now we're all, I know, including Jackie, is like, because she comes out with bags, and she's like, I'm like, I wonder if she won't give her one, or if she won't be like shady. So she gives her one or whatever, and it turns out it's a dildo from Joe Gorga line, or whatever the case may be. So then Teresa goes, yeah, well, you can take this, Jackie, since you said I could take the olive branch and shove it up my ass, you can use this to shove it up your ass. And I was like, oh, Teresa, you think you did something with that, huh? You think that was reading her, huh? Okay, so Teresa keeps going on and on and on and on, and da 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 da, and then everybody is just like, and I appreciate the way Jackie handled the situation in both situations that she was in with Teresa, which is she didn't really feed into her. She gave her like a line or two, but she didn't really give Teresa what she was looking for. So Dolores ends up being like, look, all right, we're done. Is everything that needs to be said? So they go into the house, and she was like, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to get that off my chest. So you just wanted to be a 4-year-old little child and be petty as hell, like we're in fucking high school or something. 14 years old. Oh, boom, I got you. That's what Teresa is, a child. She is a child. She's a child. She's a child. And even Margaret was like, I'm fed up with her nonsense, because that was unnecessary. It was. You didn't have to talk to the girl at all. So then we get to the dinner or whatever, and they ask about what they seen in the headlines or whatever, and Teresa's divorce is finalized pretty much. So then Teresa pretty much says that Joe, her brother Joe, needs to apologize for what he said about Joe Gorga on her last reunion. Now on the last reunion, Joe Gorga and I think Dolores pretty much was saying that they feel like Joe would be a messy ass person when it came to this divorce. And Teresa at the time was like, oh no, I don't think he would do that. And so she's like, he's been nothing but a gentleman this whole time. I'm like, Teresa, all of this bullshit that this man has put you through, and you're still sitting here defending him. He don't get no hand clap for doing what it is that he's supposed to do, which is going about this amicably. He has already fucked you and your kid's life up. The least he could have did, the least he could do is just go about this. And to be quite honest, let's be real. He might have not came for your money, Teresa, but you can't lie. When they had first was going through their divorce and he was over there in Italy, y'all remember that infamous ass interview of both of them? Her being with Andy and him being in Italy, and when he had first got home, and how he was talking about her. And even last season, Gia being the damn middleman between her damn daddy and her mama. So let's not make it seem like it's been all peaches and roses, because it has not. It has not. And so Joe, her brother, is like, well, I'm aggravated because there was an article that was out where Joe Gudice pretty much was like, what did he say? He was like, he knows things about Melissa and Joe, and how he's lying and how he's not helping Teresa and the kids. Pause for 1 second. even if Joe wasn't helping Teresa and the kids, let's be real. It's not his responsibility. If you wouldn't have done what you did, your ass would still be in America to take care of your children. So it's not Joe's responsibility to jump in and help Teresa. Although I know for a fact Kim and Melissa was probably helping her with them kids. Shut the hell up. And so Joe, her brother, is like, well, I don't understand. Why is it that you're coming for me, but you didn't defend me like when it came to him, when I'm the one that's over here helping you and he's all the way over there. I've been the one by your side and you didn't stand up for me and tell him to keep my name out of his mouth, but that's what you want me to do. So that's what she do. She tell everybody to pretty much keep her name. Like, don't talk about him. Are you not gonna talk about him again? I won't talk about him, Teresa. What the fuck ever. And so then Melissa, of course, is getting frustrated, as she should, because I would be getting mad too. She was like, girl, just like we was all having a nice dinner, why you gotta do all of this extra shit? And she was like, Melissa, shut up. And shout out to Melissa, because Melissa back in the day wouldn't really say nothing, but she was like, don't tell me to shut up. And this is where I have a problem always with Joe Gorga, is that he allows, in my opinion, he a lot of time allows Teresa to sit up there and talk to Melissa. However, it happened maybe once or twice, like, you know, them seasons, a couple seasons ago, where he was like, I'm begging you on your, like, we're begging you on your knees to, like, just stop. But I really feel like that's your sister, Joe. You need to be correct to her. If she tell your wife to shut up, you like, But you don't. He just let it go. So that's my problem mostly with George. I mean, so with George, with Joe. He just kind of let this shit happen. So then we move on from that. And Teresa asks Marge's husband, she was like, didn't you say during boys' night that you heard it too? And he was like, heard what? He was like, didn't you say that you heard the rumor about Evan? And I'm just like, bruh, Teresa, see, this is why we can't get nowhere. Because you have no life. Even though you have 3 kids by yourself, a house that you selling, you still have no life. Or you still choose, I would say, to put your energy towards certain things when you really don't need to. It's very annoying. So, Marge's husband was like, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say it, even though he did say it, because we seen him during the boys' night. But he was like, no, I didn't say it. So Marge is like, what? She was like, I never heard that before, and I feel like he would have told me. So she asked him, so before she even really got to get into it, where her husband like, hey, like, what are you talking about? Like, is that what you heard? Jen jumps in and she was like, no, he said it. And she was like, Marge was like, you was there? And he was like, no, I was there, but Bill told me. And she was like, so then shut up. And I'm sorry. And Marge Star was going in on Jen like, shut up because I'm not talking to you. And yes, Marge didn't have to jump out the window like that, but I feel what she's saying. Jen, first of all, nobody's talking to you or about you. Nobody asked you anything. And if you wasn't, and you said it like as if you was actually there. Oh, no, he said it. No, he said it. Just because your husband told you, you wasn't there. If you was there, cool. Otherwise, shut your mouth. Just like how Frank was like, I'm not about to throw my boy under the bus and I'm not going to make it worse. Let me just sit here and shut up. You could have just shut up. You could have just sat there and ate your food and shut the hell up. So, this whole time, Jackie is just like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. I don't want to hear about it no more. Like, I just don't give a fuck. I don't care. So, Marge asked, him straight up. She was like, is that what you heard? And he said, no, that's not what I heard or whatever. She was like, okay, boom. So then it's done. So then, Marge, like the rest of us, is like, Teresa, what I want to understand is, why do you care? That's what we all want to know as an audience. Why do you care so much, Teresa? Why does it bother you to your core? She's like, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. I just wanted to be known that I wasn't the one who said it. I wasn't the one who told. I'm not going over this whole circle again about, I'm not talking about it again, because Teresa, we all as the viewing audience know what happened, so I'm not going to even go in on that point, because we already know what the fuck it is. You just keep trying to take off blame when you could just own up to your shit. So, then, Jackie, so then they pretty much, so it wasn't even that Jackie was going back and forth. Like, Teresa just kept saying shit or whatever. And even Melissa was like, why do you keep bringing it up? Like, you're going to make her cry. And Jackie, she was like, I'm not going to cry. Like, I'm not going to cry. Like, everybody calm down. I just don't care no more. Like, I just don't care. And so then I forgot what Teresa said something. And she was like, yeah, girl, where you got your manners from? Jail, huh? Jail. I said, Get her together, Jackie. Get her together. And the best part about Jackie is that Jackie don't really even have to raise her voice. Jackie be saying it in the most cool, calm, and collected way. And then Teresa literally blows up. So as normal, I mean, you looked stupid before, but then you even look more stupid because somebody can bother you that easily. And you can't even handle the basic shit that somebody said to them. When you sat at the table, you called the girl disgusting. And she's a low life. And she's a piece of shit. And she's trash. And da-da-da. And you see Jackie wasn't moved. But she said, oh, well, you got that from jail. Yeah, I did get it from jail. And so what? And so what? So, you know what she... It's no wonder you act like that, girl. It ain't no wonder that you act like that. And so Teresa gets up and gets mad and she leaves. And, you want that stupid bitch to... I'm sorry. Teresa needs to be taken off of the Real Housewives of New Jersey and just plopped real quick fast in the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Just real quick fast, because the way that y'all be allowing Teresa to run her mouth and to go off and to curse people out, and the fact that she's almost never checked or popped in the fucking face, because that's the main thing. I don't understand how Teresa has been able to be on this TV this long and talk as much shit as she does and call people outside their name as much as she does, and not once has anybody popped that bitch. She needs to get popped and dragged one good time. If Melissa was to beat Teresa's ass one good time, if somebody on that cast was to beat her ass one good time, Teresa wouldn't act like that. But she acts like that because y'all allow it. That was that episode, y'all. I'm out. Boys.